Why do you make the sign of the cross at the beginning of the service, at baptism, and other times? What's the significance?
So, here's the deal.
Well, first of all,
yeah.
do you have to do that?
No.
You don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that. And this is actually one of the great things about this. This actually gets to the heart of so much of what happens in worship. What happens in worship is awesome. But it's not because we're making the sign of the cross or we're not making the sign of the cross.
Right.
It's not because we're singing this song or bowing at this time or that time or reverencing. It's because Jesus is here and he is giving us his gifts. That's what makes worship awesome. So we have all these traditional worship practices, which basically are meant not to be awesome in and of themselves, but to point us to Jesus, and that's what the sign of the cross does. So Paul says in 1 Corinthians 2, verse 2, I claim to know nothing while I was among you, but Jesus Christ and him crucified. Martin Luther summarized Paul's statement like this when he said, the cross alone is our theology. What's Christian theology all about? It's all about the cross. It's all about Jesus' death. It's all about his resurrection. And so this is simply a reminder of that. You can never get enough of Jesus and the cross.
Wait, did you touch your nose first and then?
Yes.
I thought you were supposed to touch your forehead first.
See, exactly. And then there are people who do it in slightly different ways. I just did it the wrong way. He did it the correct way. So take notes.
Thank you for noticing that. You get the idea, right? It's not about making the sign of the cross or not. But here's one of the things that I love about making that sign of the cross at the beginning of the service. Notice it goes along with the invocation, where we say that we worship in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. And so we make that sign of the cross, and it connects us, at least in theory, to another place where that name was spoken over us, in our baptism. I baptize you in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. And so that physical action is simply just a mnemonic device that helps us remember that we are baptized into and we worship in the name of that God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. By the way, at the end of the service, because it's Jubilee, we'll have the baptism and reaffirmation of baptism. And if you reaffirm your baptism, guess what sign I'm going to make with that water on your forehead? The sign of the cross. Does it have to be like that? Absolutely not. I could simply touch your forehead, or you could touch your forehead with that droplet of water. But the reality is, I make that sign of the cross just so in my own mind and perhaps in your mind, it all connects back to the cross, where you and I were forgiven and set free, where God claimed us as his own.